Elon Musk stepped into a lavish restaurant in the heart of the city, dressed in simple, slightly wrinkled clothes, as if he had just come from an ordinary day. He chose a quiet table, hoping to remain unnoticed, while the shimmering crystal chandeliers cast a soft glow over the elegant space. However, before he could even glance at the menu, a waitress approached him with a look of disdain and an arrogant stance. "Are you sure you can afford to be here?" she scoffed, her voice dripping with sarcasm, loud enough for other diners to hear. What happened next not only left everyone in the restaurant speechless, but also unveiled a truth that changed everything. Lumiere. Restaurant was a symbol of elegance in Beverly Hills, situated on one of the city's most exclusive avenues. Its expansive windows showcased the neon-lit streets where luxury cars glided smoothly past. Inside, every element was meticulously designed to impress. More than just a restaurant, Lumiere was a status symbol, a place to be seen and admired. Sophia, one of Lumiere's most experienced waitresses, moved confidently through the dining room, her polished smile firmly in place. With her neatly styled bun and impeccably tailored uniform, she exuded efficiency and control. To her, working at Lumiere was not just a job, it was a privilege, something she took pride in mentioning whenever possible. But Sophia had another side. Her confidence often spilled over into arrogance, and she had a habit of judging customers at first glance, mentally ranking them based on their clothing, demeanor, and overall appearance. Some people, she believed, simply didn't belong in a place like this. When the restaurant's glass doors swung open and a man walked in, dressed in faded jeans, a simple shirt, and a well-worn jacket, Sophia's trained eye immediately dismissed him as someone unworthy of Lumiere's exclusivity. He blended into the background, his presence nearly invisible. Elon Musk had never been one to flaunt his wealth. Despite being one of the most recognizable figures in the world, he remained reserved, a stark contrast to the extravagant lifestyle of Beverly Hills. To Sophia, however, he was just another ordinary guest. Busy discussing a VIP reservation with a colleague at the reception desk, Sophia barely acknowledged him at first. But when she finally turned to look, she froze for a moment, her gaze scanning him with barely concealed disdain. He looked nothing like the clientele she was used to serving. Without hiding her reaction, she tilted her head slightly, scrutinizing his scuffed boots before forcing a brief, insincere smile. "Good evening," she said in a curt tone. "How can I help you?" Elon, unfazed, responded politely. "I'd like a table, please." Sophia raised an eyebrow, as if she had just heard something ridiculous. Her expression seemed to ask, "How dare he?" She crossed her arms, the forced smile vanishing. "Are you sure you're in the right place? This is a highly exclusive restaurant," she said pointedly. Elon's expression remained unchanged. "Yes, this is where I'd like to dine." Sophia let out a short, incredulous laugh before shaking her head. "All right, just a moment," she said, turning away abruptly. She headed to the reception office, where she typed his name into the reservation system with an exaggerated flair. When no booking appeared, she rolled her eyes and walked back, clearly annoyed. "As I suspected, you don't have a reservation," she said, her voice laced with mock sympathy. "We do have a few tables available, but just so you know, this isn't a casual dining spot." Still unbothered, Elon simply replied, "I'd like to dine here." Sophia sighed dramatically, grabbing a menu with an exaggerated motion. "Fine," she muttered. "Follow me." She led him briskly through the dining room, making no effort to check if he was keeping up. Instead of seating him in the center, where the golden light of the chandeliers accentuated the restaurant's luxury, she took him to the farthest, dimmest corner. right next to the kitchen, where the noise of clattering dishes and staff chatter created a completely different atmosphere. "Here you go," she said, tossing the menu onto the table with a thud. "I think you'll feel comfortable here. It's more private." Elon glanced at the table and then back at Sophia, his slight smile unwavering. "Thank you," he said calmly. Sophia crossed her arms, trying to determine whether he was being sarcastic or just clueless. "You're welcome," she replied, her voice dripping with condescension. "Just so you know, we usually reserve this table for special cases. But since we're not fully booked tonight, you can have it." With that, she spun on her heel and left before he could respond. When she returned to take his order, her disdain only grew. Pulling out her notepad with an exaggerated motion, she gave Elon a cold look. "Have you decided what you'd like?" she asked, clearly bored. "Or do you need a recommendation?" Elon scanned the menu and pointed to one of the most expensive dishes. "I'd like to try this one." Sophia stifled a laugh, covering her mouth slightly as if trying to contain a snide remark. "Oh, the filet de Rossini," she said in a condescending tone. "A classic. Just to confirm, sir, you do realize this costs $350, right?" Elon nodded. "Yes, it sounds wonderful." Her lips curled into a malicious smile. "All right then. Just so there's no misunderstanding later, I suggest you double-check the prices. We wouldn't want any unpleasant surprises." Still calm, Elon replied, "I'm certain." Sophia let out an exaggerated sigh as if she were doing him a great favor. "Very well. As you wish," she said, scribbling down the order. "But just so you know, our chef prefers dishes like this to be enjoyed by those who truly appreciate fine dining. I hope it meets your expectations." She turned to leave, but paused. "Oh, and one more thing. The minimum tip expected here is 20%. Keep that in mind." Sophia walked away, convinced she had successfully humiliated him. She whispered to a co-worker, "He won't last 5 minutes. I bet he'll leave as soon as he sees the bill." But Elon remained seated, patiently waiting. What happened next, however, would change the atmosphere in the entire restaurant and teach Sophia a lesson she would never forget.